This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh, and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life, but such leave it shall die. Giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash, double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutes to all the sincere elect out there. We are coming back at you with another lesson. So yeah, man, going in on our little bit of Baruch 4. And these precepts is really a precept to Deuteronomy 28. When it says there, this is the book of the commandments of Yahweh, right? Moses was speaking in Deuteronomy 28. If you keep the laws, you will live. And if you don't, you will be deleted. Simple and plain. Yeah? Commandments of Yahweh and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Keeping the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, but it's not all about that. But that's all to the best of our ability. But that was a warning that was given to Moses, Deuteronomy 28, and this really is the precept to Deuteronomy 28. It says, "Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mightest be illuminated." Illuminated. So we're gonna get into that word because that's what will happen, right? And that's what's happening now. The valley of the dry bones, Ezekiel 37, still fresh in my mind. We went through that, still fresh in my mind. So the valley signifies low morals, which is over there in America, Babylon. Low part of the earth, low part. Valleys are low, and it signifies low morals, low standards, reflection of America, Babylon, right? Which is very the same as Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Low morals, low standards, and the valley represents low land, right, man? So, right. So what happens, right, when the dry bones is breathed upon us? When the breath is breathed, what happens? The breath of life, the spirit of the Most High. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of thy light thereof, that thou mightest be illuminated. Illuminated. I want to get on that word there. Illuminated meaning.
This is the definition of illuminated, lit with bright lights.
Right, illuminated meaning. There you have it. Manuscript of a manuscript having pages or letters. You can't make this up, right? Pages or letters decorated by hand with gold, silver, and colored designs, illuminated. But that's the point, right? What we got now? We got the book of the law, the manuscripts. And there was once upon a time, the scriptures, the laws, the volume of the book came in a manuscript on papyrus writing, a scroll. What did I just read right now? What did I just read? You can't make this up. So that's the meaning of illuminated in a literal sense, right? Lit up bright lights. But then when you get into the spiritual, where you illuminated, coming back to life again. So there's some good meat in there. I want to get back onto this because really land back in off one of the elders apostles videos about Gad, one of my favorites precepts to get into as well. You know, when it goes into Jacob called unto his sons of Genesis 49 and 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which shall befell you in the last days. And it breaks it all down to all the 12 brothers, his 12 sons. Yeah, he breaks it all down. Right, Reuben, we've got Simeon, and really the point I'm focusing on once again, land backing of Elder Apostle Tahar's video. Gad is a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. And he went into a particular word and we're going to get that word because it really gives the idea. The word. Hold on, this saves a lot of spelling mistakes for me, and I'm just going to say it via the AI or the Google. Reverse of reverse of fortune. All right, it's giving me some movie. I ain't trying to get no movie. Reverse of yeah, what's this? Well, you gotta take your time. Take your time. Reverse of Stop. Let me calm down. Let me calm. Feels funny just talking into this damn blasting Google AI. Reverse of What's wrong? Oh man, all right, man. Now the giggling spirit jumped on me. Let me take my time and breathe. Your mind is racing too fast. So Elder Apostle Tahar, he made mention of that word reverse of fortune. I'm attempting to say it correctly in Google, and I keep Google has some kind of effect. Apparently has some kind of effect right now. But we're gonna get through this. We're gonna push through this. And the reason why he said reverse of fortune is because of, I'm gonna read God again. All right, this is the point of it, and we're gonna get into some current events as well. Abaratazar, the edifying. Genesis 49 and 19 again. God, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at last. Now let's get back to the word. Apostle Paul, Apostle, Elder Apostle Gabar. I keep slipping up saying Apostle Paul. I've always been doing that, and but he usually doesn't when that's been said about him, Elder Apostle Tahar, he usually he kind of falls back on it, as many modest prophets did, that modest spirit. But I'm going to say the word now, reverse of fortune, because I'm lambacking off Elder Apostle Tahar's video. And I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to say meaning. Because every time I say something else comes up or whatever, but let's say reverse of fortune meaning. There you have it.
According to word hippo, an event resulting in great loss, something that impedes or stands in the way of progress. Noun, filled up pointing triangle, an event resulting in great loss.
Alright, so I'm gonna. What is an example of reverse of fortune? Let's see what it says here. Developing in economics. Reverse of fortune. What does it mean to suffer or a reverse of? Let me type that. Let me say that again. Reverse of fortune meaning.
According to word hippo, an event resulting in great loss, something that impedes or stands in the way of progress. Noun, filled up pointing triangle, an event resulting in great loss.
Oh, I try something else. From rags to riches. From rags to riches meaning.
Here's the definition of rags to riches, used to describe a person's rise from a state of extreme poverty to one of great wealth.
Right. So yeah, that's giving me what I'm kind of bit better, bit closer. What I'm looking for. What does it mean to go from rags to riches? Gad was overcome, but he shall overcome at the last. Right there. Right. Rags to riches, also rags to riches, refers to any situation in which a person rises from poverty to wealth, and in some cases from absolute obscurity to height of fame, fortune. That's heights of fame, fortune, and celebrity, sometimes instantly. This is the common, there you have it, in a literal and popular culture. So what comes to mind? Ephesians 3 and 19. Yeah, in a land where we was put to shame, there it shall be said, we'll be given praise and fame. We've got some precepts to go through, right? We've got this one too. Once again, land backing of Elder Apostle Gabar. He brought Tahar some precepts, the restoration. We're going to bring some of them out. And like I say, some current events to get into as well. So we're going to funnel these current events through the scriptures. Amos 9:11 says, "In that day will I rise up the tabernacle of David," yeah? Went from rags to riches, that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will rise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Ezekiel's just in the back of my mind, so got me bringing out certain other precepts related to Ezekiel 37, right? From the dry bones to from zombie away. Zombie is another, as a matter of fact. Let's tap something in here. Zombie meaning.
According to Cambridge Dictionary, Cambridge University Press, meaning of zombie in English: a frightening creature that is a dead person who has been brought back to life, but without human qualities.
So we were once zombies, man. Because why is that? Let's get back to the meat of this video. Yeah, this is the book of the commandments of Yahweh, Baruch chapters 4 and 1. This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh, and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Right? Zombie. Yeah. A frightening creature that is dead, a dead person. That's what we were once. And dry bones, something that has no life in it. Right? But then it was built back up again as we went through yesterday. The sinews were put back on, and it became a living, moving, breathing thing. The sinews was you might say, the structure. But then you can't just have the structure without the breath, and then the breath given back. So we had the complete whole truth. Now we got the complete whole truth rising back up again. Not as once we were zombies. We were once dead people, or living dead people, and 2/3 are still the living dead today. They're the zombies today. Hence why they're doing all the folly that they're doing. Right? We keep hearing about it, right? And you got the also you got these Alizars or Alizés, Sicaris. They're also zombies, right? Living dead people. Hence they act out their zombie fantasies. Person who has been brought back to life but without human qualities, right? Zombie-like demonic qualities. They be bringing all of that out, coming back to life again, or half alive with no soul almost, or no real spirit in them. So that's the 2/3 today. And the ones that were once enlightened who turn away from the truth. As a matter of fact, it says it here. All right? This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh, and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Right? The scriptures are speaking right now. Turn thee, O Jacob, take hold of it, walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mightest be illuminated. Walk back to life again. Right? Illuminate. Let's go back. Illuminated. We looked at the word. It took a little while, but we got there in the end. Illuminated, right? Lit with bright lights in the spirit of the Lord. Yeah, of the manuscript having pages of letters. There you have it, man. The scriptures and it's the scriptures that give us that life, man. So from rags to riches. Here you have it, right? Used to describe a person rise from the state of extreme poverty to one of great wealth. What does it mean, right? And we looked at this as well. Any situation. So in our case, right, being zombies and then giving the spirit of the Lord back to life. That's rags to riches, but in a spiritual sense. So we looked at David as well, the restoration, when you get into that word, brought back, literally brought back, man, brought back by Yahweh, by Shemil Shah, back to life, restoration. As a matter of fact, let's see something. Restoration etymology. Cuts out a lot of. Get straight to it, man. Right. Restoration meaning means of healing, restoring health, a cure. Right, see it there? That's what I was looking for. Healing, restoring one's health from that zombie, or that there's another word as well, trauma, or what's the other one? There's another word. You got the trauma, and then you got Alzheimer's. It's like Alzheimer's, memory loss, memory loss. Anyway, so we're gonna get our health back. Cure, renewing of something lost, from rags to riches. There you have it, man. Directly from the Latin restoration. Well, you can see it. I'm not gonna. This is looks like a tongue twister if I try and attempt it. Looks like a tongue twister, but there you have it. Latin restoratim, right? Restoration, renewal, right? From what? Trauma. From trauma. What's the another word? Enzymes. Enzymes. Let me see if I can find that as well. What's in the back of my mind? The effects of trauma. Effects of trauma make you more vulnerable to developing health, mental health problems. Right. So yeah, that's the effects of trauma, man. There's another. What's another word for memory loss? What is another word for memory loss? I'm getting in right now.
According to NHS, memory loss.
Right. What is another word for memory loss? It's saying there refers to the loss of memories, including facts, information, and expression. Amnesia. So that's it, man. Yeah, Jake. That's why you're in that low land over there, suffering from amnesia. The valley of dry bones, low land, where there's no standards, low morals, and the ones who are not being given the breath, who the 2/3 not accepting or not being given, or just not of the elect, suffering from this. Hence why they buck up against this truth, amnesia, right? Loss of memory, loss of their history. In their case, loss of knowing who they are. Amnesia, when you get a bump on your head, you can either get it from a real hard bump on the head, amnesia, or suffer from trauma, which is the Deuteronomy 28. Let's hit some of that, bring out some of that to back up what we're looking at right now. So Deuteronomy 28, and let's start with 33. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. All right. He shall lend to thee. So yeah, we got the idea there. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hast hearkened not unto the voice of thy God. Right? There you have it. Baruch. Right? Refused or gone aside from the laws. Baruch 4, we just looked at that. And 1 and 2. Right? Voice of thy Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. See it there? There's some more here. We're going to read a little bit of these as well, and shall moreover, let's read this one, 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, right? The curses, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou service not thy Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Jump down to 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. And right, the eagle represents, that's their badge of honor, or their symbol, the eagle. Deuteronomy, Obadiah goes into that. Obadiah. They use that as well on the Apollo 11, when they went up to so-called went up into space. That was on their lunar spaceship, the eagle. So we know that's their emblem, and it's now their official bird. That happened this year. They made it official, right? Eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue that shall be not understood. A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favour to the young. Right, a nation of fierce countenance. Right, something just come to my mind just now. We're going to tap it in. Trump deportation asylum seekers. This is the current news right now. Right, let's read on some of these current events. We just looked at that nation with a fierce countenance, and you know what I mean. There's this guy here. Let's go to image. Yeah, does he look? Does he look welcoming to these asylum seekers? Will Trump deport program affects asylum seekers? Yeah. Will Trump's deportation program affect asylum seekers? Well, all you got to do is just have you been watching the news lately? What he's been saying, right? This dude here. Enough said. A picture paints 1,000 words. As a matter of fact, yeah, because this dude has recently been in the news, right? This guy here. Denied, detained, deported, the most high-profile case in Trump's immigration crackdown. This dude here, and when you go into the story, he just what he's saying is that he looked like he looked like a gang, one of these gang guys, these high-profile gangs, and he had tattoos. So they said we're going to deport him because he's got tattoos. Right, Donald Trump retook the White House, vowing to stage the largest deportation operation in America's history. Does that sound like someone who's welcoming that nation, right, with a fierce countenance? Right, enough said, man. That's all I'm really going to get on with that. These are some of the peoples ensnared by the administration in presidential measures. I'm butchering that one. Measures to target people it believes oppose its agenda. Oh, these are the ones that one was dragged off the street because she said something against or pro some kind of pro Ishmael something. She tweeted and she was found. They got her. This guy here is still locked up. They say he's in there. They're trying to fight for him to get out. He just said he's got tattoos and he's not a gang member. And there's just to name a few right there, right? These are some of the people ensnared by the administration, unprecedented measures to target people it believes oppose its agenda. We're just dragging them off the street, literally, man. In a lot of cases, we'll be dragging them off the street. You ain't making this up. You can see it with your own. You can see it. Right? See? Enough said. Oh, there's another thing as well. What did Trump say about the Central Park Five? All this was just going through my mind, right? Some of these things that were said. Trump, what did he say? He said some things. And he said a lot of things. Alright, this ain't coming true. Hold on, let me see if I can get one of these What did Trump say about the Central Park Five? There it is. The what you're watching was shot. This is Donald Trump and the Central Park Five, the racially charged rise of a demagogue. Right. In 1989, 5 black and Latino boys, right? Does he like black people? I don't think he likes black people. Right? Black and Latino, or Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes. He always has something to say about them. I wonder why. Boys who were wrongly convicted of raping a woman jogging in New York City, leading the charge against them was a real estate mogul, right? Does he look happy? You know, that person with a strange countenance, Deuteronomy 28:49, whose divisive rhetoric can be found in his presidential campaign. What was he saying? He's saying he was calling for the deletion of them. right? And when you watch the video, the ones that were acquitted eventually, and there was a compensated as well. All the Central Park Five was acquitted and compensated because they didn't delete them that Trump was calling for. He was saying all these things he was saying out of his mouth, like delete him, death penalty, and all of that. He was saying it didn't happen when they was eventually got out. Years later, as old middle-aged men, they were saying this is what he wanted, but fortunately, it didn't happen. We got the compensation, and we was found innocent. We was acquitted. So they would have deleted if they would have followed suit with what he had to say or was asking for. There would have been 5 deleted innocent ninjas, right? And that's what he was calling for. Enough said. I ain't gonna play the video. If you want to watch it, you can watch it. He was actually saying it out of his own mouth. He was saying he don't like them, you know, bring back the deleted penalty and all of that. He was saying bring it back for them, and he was going into detail. Right? You want to watch it, you can watch it. But there you have it, man. Right? But that's the point, because right, yeah, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that they may be illuminated. He bring you back to life, and all your enemy, Deuteronomy 28, right? This is why you should have hearkened, right? But now we're hearkening, right? The breath of life is coming into the elect, and the 2/3 ain't gonna hearken because they've left the laws and they haven't received the breath, and they're gonna have to face the consequences for that. But this is what was said by Moses, 49 of 28, Deuteronomy. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee far from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, right? You don't understand the rhetoric, and you don't understand it. It's literal, but it's really spiritual. The rhetoric. Why do they hate us? Why was Trump calling for the deletion of 5 black young innocent, eventually found innocent? Why would it? You see, you don't understand it. But to understand it, you got to get back to the laws. But really, the laws of what there was, the admonition what Moses was given in Deuteronomy 28, simple and plain, right? If you hearken, you shall live, and if you don't, you're gonna. This is the consequences. The nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Giving our praises to Yehovah Shimon Shai. There you have it, man. Point made, point proven. The current event, right, today, this is what's happening right now. It's trending, right? The deportation. This is the deportation. What did Trump say about the Central Park 5? And also, what's trending is the Trump deportation of the asylum seekers. Right? And this is what he's doing. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna use this as right. This is really the image what we're looking for. But despite of all that, right? God is a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. But at least you can see the prophecies taking place before your eyes. Right now, they're being overcome. They're being locked up for something, just for having tattoos, locked up for not, so they say you don't belong here. This is our land, which is not. It's the so-called Native American Indians' land originally, and you're just being locked up, being treated, humiliated, dragged up, put in these camps, FEMA camps. But that's because you're being overcome. But you shall overcome at the last. And right now, we're going to end with this one. We're in the time of restoration for the elect of the Most High's people, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. But now Amos chapters 9 and 11 says, "In that day will I rise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will rise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old." So right now, that's what we're seeing, right? The reverse of fortune is taking place, as that saying. We looked at that saying. What was the reverse of fortune? Let's get back there. We're gonna end it on this note. We looked at quite a bit. This is the point right here. Used to describe a person rags to riches, right? used to describe a person's rise from a state of extreme poverty to one of great, no, enough said there, great wealth. Prefer this one. Alright? God is a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So no other watch no fears without that. Right. Rags to riches, also rags to riches, refers to any situation in which a person rises from poverty, right? In that case, slavery, the Jim Crow on the cotton fields, picking cotton till the bones, muscles fall off the bone, right? That's extreme poverty, to say the least, or trauma, or amnesia, sickness. But Yehovah Shemashai gonna return with healing his rings, right? Any situation in which a person rises from poverty to wealth, and in the same cases from absolute, and in some cases, in our case, absolute, absolute excruciating. I'm going to say this word. I'm going to see if I can get this word. Absolute. It, hold on a minute. Obscurity to heights of fame and fortune and celebrity. But in our case, Superman, Carlisle, all powerful. Uh, Obscurity, the warrior of Shimosha. I don't like to, I like to overcome them little mental blocks and obstacles. Right, from absolute obscurity to heights of fame, fortune, and ultimately, Yehovah Shimosha giving us returning us, man, with what? Restoration, right? Which ultimately, when they come in like a flood, we're gonna put it on them, man. And that's what we're looking for. So, God and all the tribes, all of them, we're gonna get our lick back. To what they are about Shimashai. God is a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Until the next one, Shalom to the sincere right there. Alright, so that's really the point right there. Alright, so doesn't matter what it looks like. Doesn't matter what you look like. You don't frighten we. Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Until the next one.